It was a Sunday morning, December the 7th, 1941. The people of Pearl Harbor were going about their day, soldiers relaxed, planes stood idle, and the waters were calm. Then, everything changed. Japanese planes roared through the skies, dropping bombs and torpedoes. Battleships exploded, smoke filled the air, and over 2,400 lives were lost. But why did Japan risk everything on this devastating strike? Was it a bold strategy or a desperate gamble? The answer lies in Japan's struggle for resources and a decision that shaped the course of World War II. In the early 1900s, Japan wanted to dominate Asia and the Pacific. Its leaders envisioned a powerful empire, the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. But there was a problem. Japan didn't have enough resources. The country lacked oil, coal, and rubber, which were vital for its industries and military. The ongoing war in China made this problem even worse. To solve this crisis, Japan had two options. The first was the Northern Plan, which focused on attacking the Soviet Union to seize its resources. But after Japan's defeat at Khalkhin-Gol in 1939, this plan was abandoned. The second option was the Southern Plan. It targeted Southeast Asia, where British and Dutch colonies held valuable resources like oil. The Southern Plan offered what Japan needed, but there was a catch. Expanding south would mean clashing with powerful Western nations, especially the United States, who had strong interests in the Pacific. After World War I, the United States tried to stay out of foreign conflicts. Most Americans wanted peace. But Japan's growing aggression in Asia changed this. Reports of atrocities like the rape of Nanking shocked the world. By the late 1930s, the US began supporting China and other allies, though they stayed officially neutral. In 1940, Japan invaded French Indochina to block China's supply routes. The US responded with sanctions, restricting key materials like steel and aviation fuel. Then, in 1941, Japan took over southern Indochina. This led to a full oil embargo. Japan depended on the US for 80% of its oil. Without it, their military and economy faced collapse. Negotiations between the two nations failed. The US demanded Japan leave China and Southeast Asia. Japan refused. Their leaders believed war was the only way to secure the resources they needed to survive. By late 1941, Japan believed war with the US was unavoidable. Here's how they planned to take the first move: a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Their goal was to destroy the US Pacific Fleet, giving Japan time to conquer Southeast Asia and secure vital resources like oil and rubber. Leaders hoped the attack would force America into negotiating peace. Not everyone in Japan agreed with the plan. Some warned that the US was too powerful. They believed Japan couldn't win a long war, but military leaders like Hideki Tojo argued otherwise. They thought speed and surprise could overcome America's strength. The plan was bold, but it was a gamble. Japan believed a swift victory at Pearl Harbor would secure their empire. Instead, they underestimated America's resolve and strength. The decision to attack would become one of Japan's most costly mistakes. On December the 7th, 1941, Japanese planes swarmed the skies over Pearl Harbor. The first wave struck at 7:55 a.m. Bombs and torpedoes ripped through battleships like the USS Arizona, which exploded in flames. Sailors scrambled to fight back, but the attack was overwhelming. A second wave followed, hitting more ships and airfields. In just over an hour, the damage was devastating. 18 US ships were damaged or sunk, over 2,400 Americans were killed, and hundreds of aircraft were destroyed. But Japan made key mistakes. They didn't target the fuel depots or the US aircraft carriers, which were out at sea. These oversights allowed the US to recover quickly. What seemed like a victory for Japan marked the beginning of their downfall. The attack on Pearl Harbor shocked the United States. The next day, President Roosevelt gave his famous Day of Infamy speech, and Congress declared war on Japan. Factories worked around the clock, producing tanks, planes, and ships. Thousands of Americans joined the military. The attack united the nation, ending years of isolationism. Instead of a quick victory, Japan faced a long, grueling war they couldn't win. The attack that was meant to secure their empire only sped up their defeat in World War II. Japan had awakened a giant they couldn't defeat. Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor was meant to secure their empire, but instead it sealed their defeat. Here's why. They underestimated America's strength, determination, and the resilience of a united nation. This pivotal moment awakened a giant and changed the course of history. What do you think? Was this Japan's greatest mistake in history? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.